It's not easy to be a Republican, and we're going to cover why here today on Speechless, Cut for Time. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Speechless Cut for Time. I'm your host, Kev Phares, 22-year-old conservative college student out of Central Illinois, host of the radio Speechless on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal and beyond, where I cover a lot of different stories from a perspective the lamestream media doesn't want you to hear, a young conservative perspective. And if you like what you're hearing, don't forget to like this video, hit that thumbs up, smash it, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, set it to all, because we know ScrewTube doesn't want you to hear these messages either. Share it with your friends, comment what you think, everything like that. But let's get right on into it, everybody. It's not easy to be a Republican. And I got to thinking about this because I saw this story out of the New York Post today. Larry David confronted Elon Musk for his GOP support. Yes, Larry David, the HBO star of Curb Your Enthusiasm, as well as the Seinfeld co-creator, confronted Tesla boss and ex-CEO. And when I say ex, I don't mean former, I mean current CEO of former Twitter, to Elon Musk at Ari Emanuel's star-studded wedding in Saint-Tropez, France and this is all coming out now because there is a biography by Walter Isaacson titled Elon Musk that'll be coming out soon, in which he describes the event. So at Ari Emanuel's star-studded wedding in Saint-Tropez, France last year, David, who's an Emanuel client, officiated the nuptials between the talent agent and the fashion designer Sarah Stoudinger, and he was seated at a table that included Elon Musk. Yes, and so at this table, Larry David appeared to be referencing a mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, which claimed the lives of 19 children and 2 teachers when Larry David asked Elon Musk, do you want to murder kids in school? Do you want to murder kids in school? According to the biographer, no, Musk said, who was baffled and annoyed. He said, I'm anti-kid murder, the mogul reportedly told David. Then how could you vote Republican, David reportedly asked Musk. Isaacson wrote that David confirmed to him the details of the reported encounter, saying his tweets about voting Republican because Democrats were the party of division and hate were sticking in my craw. Even if Uvalde never happened, I probably would have brought it up because I was angry and offended. Okay, so here's the thing. So that's the story. Larry David confronts Elon Musk. And here's the thing, is I don't necessarily believe Elon Musk is like an ardent Republican. He's shown some interesting sides of himself that have supported libertarian measures, sometimes even liberal measures. But I think it speaks to a larger point. It is not easy to be a Republican. And here's why. Because here are the lies that the leftist media will tell you. They'll say things like, in terms of abortion, they'll say Republicans want to kill women. In terms of COVID, they'll say Republicans killed grandma. Republicans are killing your kids. And that's a twofer. That one's for gun rights and gender affirming care. They'll also say Republicans want to kill poor people in reference to tax cuts or not supporting universal health care. Or Republicans want to kill black people. That's in response to supporting the police. Or Republicans want to kill Hispanics, and that's in terms of the border policy. That's what they say. That's what a lot of, and not all leftists, not all liberals, but that is a lot of the Democrat narrative, or the uneducated, the non-debatable leftist narrative. That's what they push. So it's not easy to be a Republican. If you only listen to that leftist narrative, it would seem that Republicans just want to kill everybody. It would seem that way. So why is it so hard to be a Republican? Because the sale of our ideas, of conservative ideas, often require research, which we know not everybody is in tune to do. And it oftentimes puts responsibility on the individual, which in turn asks more from people. It does. All of this makes it easy for the left to mischaracterize and flat out lie about the Republican viewpoint. Because it's easier to be a liberal or a leftist. Because then you could put all your problems on everybody else. It's the government's fault. The government needs to provide me my health care, my universal basic income, everything for my life. It's all the government's fault. And thus the Republicans' fault because the Republicans want me to do it. So let's go through some of those things I listed in the narrative that Republicans want to kill, and go against. And here is an overview of the counter arguments to those So that maybe even you could use them at some point. So abortion is the first one. Republicans want to kill women. No. Republicans see that there are two separate entities, the life of the unborn and the life of the mother. And there are a lot of things that go into creating a child prior to pregnancy and a lot of decisions. Republicans believe that if you want to have a child or you don't, you can use contraception. There's some, obviously, that this is overgeneralizing the argument a little bit, but Republicans believe that you should make your own decisions. But as soon as that decision begins to affect someone else, like an unborn child, well, then we have to protect that life as well. Because you don't just wake up one day and you're pregnant. And so you have responsibilities for your actions. If you have unprotected sex, then that could result in a child. And that life is there's a sanctity to that life that deserves to be protected. It's one of our rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Okay, so that's the first one. Then we also have COVID. Remember, they say Republicans killed grandma. Well, kind of countering abortion a little bit. When it's genuinely your body, it should be your choice. So in terms of a mask mandate or a vaccine mandate, you should have autonomy over your own body. But again, that requires more personal responsibility. To a liberal, when you have a blanket headline that says you need to wear a mask, and they don't actually do research and find out that secret, they don't work. They don't work, everybody. They don't work. Then it requires responsibility for you to do what's best for you and make your own decisions. The government shouldn't be making those for you. Next one, gun rights. You have Larry David who says, do you want to murder kids? Well, no, what we do is we support legal and responsible gun ownership. The fact of the matter is the majority of mass shootings and gun deaths, well, actually the majority of gun deaths, first of all, are suicides, which is a problem in and of itself. That's a mental health issue. Then when it comes to the majority of mass shootings, they're committed by people who illegally obtained or possessed a firearm. Here's the facts. To my knowledge, an NRA member has never committed a mass shooting. You want to know why? Because they are responsible gun owners. Let's get to tax cuts next. The left says that Republicans want to kill poor people. It's not true. We want tax cuts for all. It's not just for the rich. Why? Because we believe that you have the ability to handle your money better than the government can. The government misspends, misplaces, and misuses your money all the time. Why shouldn't you have more of that in your pocket? We don't want to kill poor people. We want everybody to have the opportunity to make for themselves, and the government shouldn't be taking it out of your pocket. Then we go into that twofer, which is the universal health care one. Similar to tax cuts, we see the government is ineffective. Would you want medical treatment from the same entity that controls the DMV, which is notoriously slow and inefficient? No. We think that the private sector actually offers better options for healthcare. Period. Okay, then supporting the police. They claim it's a race issue. No, we believe that there is some need for the government. And while the government can be ineffective and inefficient, it creates the laws and thus should also be a part of the strategy to enforce those laws. So we believe that there is a necessity for a police body, for a policing body to enforce those laws. And no, we do not support necessarily every single individual police officer. There are bad cops out there. Majority of Republicans will recognize that. But with the millions and millions of police interactions per year, the amount that result in unnecessary deaths, a small fraction. A small fraction. So yes, by and large, we support the police, and it has nothing to do with race. Other ones that I mentioned in there, gender affirming care. In terms of you want to kill kids. No. If anything, we want to do the exact opposite. A child, someone who's under the age of 18, cannot buy a gun. The majority of them cannot drive a car, get a license. Majority of them cannot go see, a lot of them can't go see an R-rated movie. And yet we want to make it so that kids can cut off parts of their body, take part in drugs that have life-altering consequences, in some cases cause infertility? No, that's a problem. But the dichotomy that the left uses is, oh my gosh, you either let them get a gender-affirming care or they're going to kill themselves. Well, the stats actually show the most comprehensive and robust study in a gender-affirming care for all ages, not just not just underage, show that suicide rates do not change after getting a gender affirming care surgery. But again, that requires extra research and facing cold, hard facts. What's another one we got in here? We also have, I mentioned the border as well. No, it is not. One, it's not about race at all. It's not about Hispanics. It's about actually protecting those that are in our country. The fact of the matter is a lot of the people many people that come through our southern border and all borders can have committed violent crimes or are trafficking deadly drugs that are already illegal in the United States. We know that securing our border would make a massive effect on securing the United States from some of those threats. We're not against immigration as a whole. We're against illegal immigration. In fact, if you ask most, we think that the immigration system could use reform. Most Republicans believe that the immigration system could use reform to make it easier for good people, educated people, people that will contribute to American society to be a part of the American dream. And that's the truth. So when Larry David goes up to Elon Musk and says, do you want to kill children? For him being semi-favorable to Republicans, this shows a few things. First off, it's not easy to be a Republican. But with just a little bit of research and a few questions, you can refute almost any of those leftist lies that the mainstream media, Hollywood, and big liberal will tell you. And when you have those conversations at your Thanksgiving or dinner table, on your weekend, anything like that, use some of those and do your own research and figure it out. It's not easy to be a Republican because we believe in personal responsibility. But don't let anybody tell you that you have blood on your hands for being a Republican, because that's wrong. It's a guilt trip, and it's an appeal to emotion rather than fact. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, ring it to all, share this with your friends. Most importantly, comment. Let me know what you think about anything I say. Is there any leftist lies I forgot to refute quickly in this video? God bless you. God bless America. And thank you so much for watching Speechless. Comfort time.